What's going on, guys? It's Archery. Welcome back to my channel. I am back with my week 4 match versus Charles in the MDL season 3. And sorry if I'm talking a little bit quieter than normal. My family's sleeping and I'm fresh out of the match. So let's just get right into it. If you guys like the MDL content, please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot. And if you guys want to see more, please let me know. I'm uploading a little bit more consistently now. I know. These matches are really fun, and I'm having a lot of fun with this team. Yeah. Anyways, let's just get right into it. So, the first thing I noticed about Charles's team was he's got Gastron and Manectric, who both stop my main modes pretty well, I would say, with Storm Drain and Lightning Run, respectively. So, I had to try and work my way around it. And one thing that I did was pick up the Appleton, and the Appleton gives me a lot of different options. I won't say all of them, but this one specifically, I was thinking about running a weakness policy set. Considering I have thick fat, I can probably live ice beams. I can live max hailstorms. I can live, with the amount of bulk I have in the Appleton this week, I could live like a Draco meteor when I'm maxed. Or, I figured I would take a little less damage than some people would expect from a super effective move, and just kind of clap back with the weakness policy on Appleton. So that's kind of my game plan going into it, and I had support Thunderous versus, oh my god, look at that team, guys. Charles's team is ridiculous. He's got Latias, Heatran, he's got Corviknight, Liepard, Mudsdale, he's got Aromatisse, Helios, Gastrodon, Eldegoss, he's got Manectric and Cryogonal. Oh my gosh. Look, Cryogonal's a little underexplored, but I have faith in Charles that he can make it work for sure. Anyways. So yeah, looking at this team, I really did not want to go Trick Room, just in case that there was like an Aromatisse or like Mudsdale or Gastrodon. I really didn't want to go Trick Room, so I went Fast instead. Because generally, I think with Rain and Tailwind, I think my speed tiers are a little bit better. I didn't actually end up bringing Tailwind, but Thunderous outspeeds most of his team anyway, so I felt like my speed tiers were a little bit better in this game, so I didn't feel the need to go Trick Room, especially since his are pretty decent under Trick Room, I have to say. So I knew he had to bring the Gastrodon and Manectric, otherwise then Kingdra and Thunderous kind of run over his team a little bit. So I expected those to come, and then I expected Latias and Corviknight, but everything else was up in the air. I didn't know if it was going to be Liepard, I didn't know if it was going to be Helios, Aromatisse, Heatran, Mudsdale, I didn't know. I did not expect Heatran or Mudsdale, considering I have Rain, but you'll see here in a second that he actually brings the Heatran, so speaking of the game, let's just get right into it. Alright, so getting into game 1 here. So I noticed that he brought the Gastrodon and Manectric, so my plan still stands, though. I think that Corviknight Manectrically gave me the most trouble in my flowcharts. Mostly because I just couldn't get past the Manectric without it just spamming Protect and Eerie Impulsing and stuff like that, so I brought the Politoed with Perish Song for a late game win condition, I guess. Considering I protect on all the mons that can that need to live at least. I think Thunderous is okay with going down because it's basically a support bot with Grass Knot for Thunderous, and 2 KO on the Corviknight with Thunderbolt. So I felt like Metagross and Appleton needed to protect for this win condition. I actually used to be a Assault Vest Metagross, but I changed it to Shuka last second so that I can actually try and have an attempt to pull this off. And mostly because the AV was there for the special attacks from like Gastrodon, Heatran and stuff. So he actually does lead the lead that I dreaded the most. Good on him for recognizing that, I think. And the plan still stands, though. I think I just max Quake into the Manectric, and I think I just Grass Knot into it as well. Just in case it's Sash, which gave me an issue in prep, so I felt like regardless, doubling into the Manectric here is good. I don't expect him to switch out, otherwise then he's leaving Corviknight vulnerable, so I know he's staying in. And I actually think I caught him off guard with the Max Appleton too, which is pretty cool. I am weakness policy, like I said, so I have an opportunity to get some good boosts and then try and just win the game from there. So he does protect with the Manectric, which is a good play on his part. I do just double into him. So I'm starting to like freak out a little bit once I see the Iron Defense on this thing, because most of my attackers are physical on this team, I think. So it's kind of rough. at least the mons besides Thunderous that can hurt this Corviknight are physical. And Kingdra needs Rain to even touch this thing, especially if it's special defensive. So the Iron Defense is really scary. So I think that he could go into Latias here on the Manectric slot. Considering that I max Quaked, so I was just max Wormwinding there as a safe option. And then also I can also scout for Mirror Armor on the Corviknight too. So I felt like switching into Politoed here is a good option. Trying to get the rain up for Metagross later on. And I wasn't really scared of Politoed going down, but thankfully he just Eerie Impulses me, which is fine. I was expecting him to go into Latias, like I said, so I was hoping that he would, but he ended up not. And Wormwind picks up the KO here every time, so yeah, so good start for me so far. 2 turns of max for the Manectric isn't exactly ideal, but you know, we take what we can get. So I'm not really sure what he's bringing in next. I think that he can bring Gastrodon in. I know Gastrodon has to be in the back. I know it, because there's no way he doesn't bring Gastrodon to game 1 versus a rain team. Oh yeah, okay, so he does go Gastrodon. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm gonna pop into Rindo Berry with my max Overgrowth here, and I think I'm just gonna Pair Song, because I know I can kill Gastrodon 2 turns from now, and if he maxes something here, then I can guarantee kill something, and then focus down the other slot, considering that it'll die in 3 turns. So I can kind of time it right with Dynamax. So I thought that Pair Song was pretty good. So I go for the Pair Song. Politoed's the fastest thing on the field. That's crazy. So that's a +4 body press. You just see how much damage that's doing. It's doing nothing. And then as you guys can see, that is a quad super effective move, lowered by Thick Fat. And then I get the weakness policy boost. So with Rindo Berry, he should be taking about 70% from this, which is still a huge chunk. And then it actually kills. And I didn't see a Rindo Berry, so I was like, wow, he's not Rindo. Okay, well, that's a really good information for another game, because Grass Knot just kills with, I'm EV'd with Thunders to kill a max HP, max special defense Gastrodon with Grass Knot. So that's why I'm EV'd on my Thunders. So I thought that was really, really good information for a couple games from now. So I now know that I can win if I just Protect Stall and focus whatever else is coming in. And just leave the Corviknight as is. Because it'll die in 3 turns regardless. So as long as I can just Protect Stall, I got this game in the bag. So it is a Latias. So I wasn't really sure what he was going to do. I almost debated double protecting, but I played a little aggressive, and I just, as you guys can see, I almost protected, but I just go for the Icy Wind here to try and maybe slow the Latias down to come in with Metagross and Ice Punch later on. So I wasn't really sure. It was a 50-50 on what he was doing. I felt that Icy Wind was pretty free. I wasn't really that fond of Politoed going down, but I was willing to take the risk to get the speed drop on Latias. So we just body press into the Appleton, so I made the read right. It was just a 50-50 call. It wasn't really a read. I'm basically stalling him at this point for Pair Song. So yeah, the animations go off. A lot of animations in this game because of the grassy terrain and leftovers and such. So yeah, Politoed and Appleton both have the Pair Song, so I have to try and switch out every once in a while. So I'm reading the body press on the Appleton again, because I think the Appleton is the bigger threat, so I think that's what he would go for. So I'm going into Thunders to take the resisted body press, and I'm just protecting Politoed to be safe. So what this does is this gives me a little bit of momentum, because now what I can do is just Thunderbolt the Corviknight the following turn, or just Eerie Impulse the Latias and then take care of it later. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do, but all I know is that I think this game is in the bag, especially if I can Eerie Impulse the Latias once at least, and maybe yeah, just get the -2 on the Latias, so that Metagross guaranteed wins this game. So I think that's what I do here. I could Thunderbolt Corviknight here. I don't really remember. I'm sorry, but I know for sure I switch on to Appleton on the Politoed, and I'm saving Metagross for the late game against Latias, because I know at -2 I can guaranteed win, no matter what bulk, no matter what item. And I actually don't know his item, so he actually goes for the Helping Hand, and I'm just like, okay. So at this point, I don't know if he has Ally Switch or not. Ally Switch is common on Latias in drafts, so I wasn't really sure what he had. This is basically just an information grab because I know I can basically win this game now. Seeing that Politoed goes down instead of the Thunderous. So at this point, I'm just trying to get as much information as possible. Corviknight goes down, and then just bring in Metagross, and I basically just Scary Face the Latias and then Ice Punch it to win. So yeah, game one went really in my favor. Like, it was heavily in my favor. Not a lot of RNG and stuff like that, which was great. And you know, as soon as I say this, just watch what happens. But yeah, the Scary Face goes off on the Latias, and then I also beat with Metagross. So I actually get a freeze here, which is cool, I guess. It just saves me 1 differential point. I'm assuming he just Draco'd the Thunderous there, so I would have won the next turn anyway, but it gives me +1 differential, so that freeze was pretty lucky, I guess. But yeah, game 1 was heavily in my favor, I think. I don't necessarily think I played well, I just think I kind of lucked out with the Gastrodon not having Rhino Berry. That was like a big problem in my prep, 2-hit KOing that Thunder, which is exactly why I had the Grass Down on the Thunderous. So that was a big problem for me, and I realized that it's not a problem anymore because Apple Acid 100% kills, and then Overgrowth kills the max Gastrodon. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't really see anything that he can do to beat that lead now other than that, and I know how to beat that lead now, like guaranteed. So I'm bringing my Rain Mode in the back because I don't think Gastrodon's coming. I think it's going to be, I think he's bringing Heatran, I think he's bringing Latias, I think he's bringing Manectric, and I think he's bringing Corviknight. I'm like, I don't think he's bringing Gastrodon. I'm going Rain. I'm not really sure what he's going to lead. I'm expecting him to lead the same thing because that lead's actually really good against my lead. I just think I got a little bit lucky. And I made some decent plays here and there, so you know, so he leads with the Latias Heatran, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so he's probably just gonna Helping Hand, Max Flare or Max Steel Spike the Appleton. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so I see no downside to just Quaking the Heatran and then Eerie Impulsing it, because like worst case scenario, right? I get a I Eerie Impulse the Latias slot, because at first I wasn't really sure who was gonna max, but then it turns out to be Heatran, so I thought the Eerie Impulse was actually a low risk play on the Latias slot, considering that I think I can live a lot of hits with Appleton because I have a lot of bulk into it. So I do max the Appleton again, and you know, I'm just wondering, I'm just like, okay, so I'm thinking like 2 turns ahead, so if I get the Eerie Impulses off and I get the special offense boost, I'm in a really good shape versus Heatran. So I get the, so he goes for the Ally Switch, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well this works out, because then I can Eerie Impulse the Heatran and get a -2 boost, right? Or I mean, -2 special attack drop. So he goes for the Steel Spike, and I'm like, that is doing way too much damage. I'm like, did he crit me? I'm like, he's Life Orb, but that still shouldn't be doing that much at all. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, he's physical. He's physical Heatran, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what do I do here? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I said there's no way he ally switches twice, right? There's absolutely no way he ally switches twice. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm gonna go for the Eerie Impulse, and I'm just gonna go for the Whirlwind, because now it's just a matter of mind games, which is just, that move is just ridiculous. And props to Charles for this great prep, by the way. And I know I'm dead now because I saw the Helping Hand, and I'm just like, So I'm officially in tilt mode, because I saw the ally switch. Now my head is just messed up. Like, I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know what read to make. As you guys can see, well, actually, I'll tell you next turn, but I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, I gotta get the rain up. So I go into Politoed, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's a chance that he has a Rock Slide, and if he goes for the Rock Slide here, I'm kind of screwed. So I wasn't really sure what to do here. I think I double into Latias, expecting another ally switch, because I was like, there's no way he Helping Hands twice, right? Like, there's absolutely no way. So I think I double into Latias here with Scald and Thunderbolt, which should be doing like a lot to this Heatran. Oh wait, no, I just protect Politoed, and I think I Scary Face the Heatran, yeah. For the following turn, yeah. Okay, well, I just spoiled the next turn, so um, he actually does have the Rock Fall, so um, he goes into Politoed, which is great for me. Um, Probably expecting me to switch out the Thundurus into Metagross or something like that, so I thought that Rock Fall into Polito was actually a low risk play, and that was good on him. Like, worst case scenario, he gets Rain gone. Like, that's really good for him. So, I think this is the term where I double into the Latias slot and protect the ally switch. Yeah, I think, yeah, okay, so this is the turn I was talking about last turn. Um, and then he helping answer, and I'm like, oh my god, come on, give me a break. So, um, yeah, if I double into the Heatran there, oh my gosh, that's so unbelievably good for me. But I didn't. I read the ally switch, and I think he knew that I was gonna read the ally switch. So Rock Slide's actually doing a lot. He's Life Orb too, so I think that Scald Thunderbolt actually kills that Heatran. Um, so it's actually really, really unfortunate that that happened. So, anyways, right now I'm just like, okay, so how do I even come back from this and maybe save some differential? Because without Appleton, I know that I don't have enough offense to keep up with the physical Heatran with Latias helping hand. So I'm just thinking to myself, how in the world do I get differential back? So I think, okay, I'm gonna read it again because I think he ally switches, and then he switches out Heatran. And I'm like, oh my god, come on, come on. Especially since I think Thundurus dies to Sand this turn. So he just goes for the Draco into Politoed, takes out the Politoed with Latias, and then if I'm not mistaken, okay, so Thundurus lives with one more turn. So I bring in Kingdra without the Rain, which is just so unoptimal. And he played this game so unbelievably well. Like, all the credit goes to him this game. Like, wow, like there was absolutely nothing I can do about the physical Heatran. Like, oh my gosh, that was a really, really, really good bring, and like very, very smart. So all the credit to him. So I wasn't really sure what he was gonna do here, and I'm just like, if he ally switches, I just lose. So he actually switches out the Gastrodon into the Corviknight, probably trying to stall out my Thundurus with the Sand. So I get the Grass Knot off onto the Corviknight, doing no damage. He goes to the Draco into the Kingdra, and he's at -2, so obviously it won't kill. So then I know that I can pick up a kill with Kingdra here, with the Draco, as long as I hit, which I do, thank God. So then I know that I'm going into the next game at neutral, neutral differential. So I know that if I lose, then I'm not really gonna be losing that much differential. But I'm gonna try and win this next game. So you know, he comes in with the Gastrodon, obviously, because there's no way he's switching in Heatran. And yeah, he pretty much just outbulks me and just wins the game. So I just Draco into Gastrodon, and yeah, he just wins this game pretty handily, I think. So the physical Heatran caught me off guard, but he was caught off guard by the Appleton, I think. So you know, we both were caught off guard a little bit. So Corviknight body presses and picks up the KO. So going into game 3, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, so how do I win this game? I'm thinking like maybe I lead Metagross, maybe I lead Thundurus. I was thinking Metagross Thundurus, but at the same time I was like, you know what? If he leads the same thing, I'm pretty confident about leading Metagross Scrafty and then bringing Politoed in the back with Thundurus. Because worst case, he could lead the same thing and then flare into the Metagross, and then I can bring in the Politoed and protect and stall out a turn of max and then play from there. And I felt like I had a good idea of what he was going to try and do this game. So I felt like that was a good option. But in hindsight, maybe I should have just led the same thing with Appleton and then gone for the 50-50 with ally switch. Because I felt like I had a good chance of winning that game if I took out the Heatran. Especially with what he had in the back. Like, I think that Appleton just destroys what he had in the back. And he didn't have the Manectric, so I thought Thundurus had a great matchup versus him too. So I was expecting him to bring the exact same thing. So in hindsight, I definitely should have just led the same thing 3 games in a row. I thought I had a good shot, but you know, I mean, it is what it is. So I lead the Metagross Scrafty. I'm not intimidated. I'm actually Moxie. Um, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I didn't run Intimidate, even though he has like no physical mons that were even thinking about coming. Um, besides the Heatran, obviously, duh. So I'm thinking to myself, what in the world am I gonna do? So this is where I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna switch into Politoed and stall out a turn of his max because it's probably only gonna do like 25-30 to me. This max flare, I mean. Um, so let's see. Worst case scenario, he rock falls into the Politoed and tries to, or into the Metagross and changes the weather. Reading the Politoed to come in, but I think that was like a pretty safe play on my part. The only issue is he's got the sun up while Politoed is on the field. So in order to get the rain back up, I have to switch out Politoed. So he knows this, and he plays it really well. He just helping hand flares the Metagross here. But I protect, so it's going to do not that much. For situations like this is exactly why I was AV. I really wish that he was special Heatran. I really wish he was special Heatran, but Charles is a good player, so he knows what he's doing. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so how do I come back in this game? Because he has all the momentum in the world, and I'm like, well, I could sack off Scrafty because I don't really need this thing. Since I don't have Intimidate, this thing is pretty much useless. And I'm thinking to myself, why did I bring Scrafty? I don't know. Maybe for like fake out pressure. So I actually go for the double switch, and this is actually really risky on my part, but I needed to get Politoed back in with Metagross for the rain to be up. So I decided that I thought that this was fine, considering that Latios is just sitting there doing nothing except helping handing, and both of these mons are fine. I'm fine with losing both of these mons, especially Scrafty, which is why I switched it in on the Metagross slot. So I make a little bit of a mistake here. I go into Politoed here. I should have gone Metagross and maxed, and then brought in Politoed on the Thundurus. But I wasn't really thinking. I was just like, okay, I got rid of the sun. Not even thinking that he could just max flare the next turn and just win. So that was a huge misplay on my part. I definitely should have gone Metagross and then brought in Politoed on the Thundurus slot, because then I would have maxed and then potentially quaked into the Heatran, or Ice Storm or Hailstormed into the Heatran too. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, I definitely misplayed right there, and I definitely just lost. Especially after this ally switch, like you guys are gonna see a lot of just stall after stall after stall. Just me trying to claw my way back into this game. With the Metagross and the Politoed, I'm just gonna be icy winning everything. Sorry for the spoiler, but after Thundurus goes down here, I knew that if he had Corviknight in the back, I lost. Which he most definitely does. Like, there's absolutely no way he does not have Corviknight. And I think he has Gastro on the back too. But I wasn't really sure. So I go into Metagross now, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, well, if only I had the rain. Like, it would be so good for me right now if I had the rain. Good news is I'm bringing in the Metagross while Heatran's Dynamax is timed out. So I can pretty much freely Icy Wind here and protect. And I think this is a pretty safe play, because the following turn, then I can try and make a read on the ally switch or whatever. So then he actually switches out the Heatran. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, yeah, I lose. That's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm like, yeah, Corviknight's in, and I don't have a way to kill it. And Iron Defense just wins, and if he has Gastro on the back, I giga lose, because then I can't even Scald the Corviknight. I'm forced to Icy Wind, or else Gastron just 1v1s the Metagross. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, I just lose now. It's pretty hard for me to win this game, but I think it's still possible. Like I said, I can't really Scald because I know there's Gastron on the back. So I just Hailstorm into the Corviknight slot. I think I Hailstorm into the Corviknight slot. I think I do. I think it's relatively safe because I'm expecting him to go for the ally switch, or just body press or Iron Defense or whatever. So I think that Hailstorming into the Corviknight was a low risk play, considering that it covers both options. Whether Corviknight just sits there and sets up, which is he's slower than my Metagross, or he ally switches with the Latios. So I think it was a low risk play. The switch into Gastron was smart though, even though I do Icy Wind here. It is smart. And the hail is nice because I get the chip on the Corviknight as well as the Gastrodon. So at this point, I actually don't know Gastrodon's item. All I know is that it's not Rindoberry. He goes for the body press, it's doing nothing. Um, so I'm thinking to myself, okay, so if I can pick up 2 knockouts in these next 2 turns with Metagross, I have a good shot of winning this game. Especially if I can get an Icy Wind off on that Heatran, then I can Stomping Tantrum, and then I can Ice Punch the Latias and just win. So my goal here is to try and get boost and also trying to get KO. So a Max Quake crit would have done it for me here, I think. Actually, by that damage, I don't think so anymore, but during the game, I'm like, oh, I wish I crit that. Actually, after Icy Wind, yeah, I would have. But, you know, you can't really win them all, and you can't get every crit that you want, so, oh my god, could you imagine if I, Max Quaked into the Corviknight slot there instead? Wow, that would have been crazy. But no, I didn't, and the Earth Power goes off. I am Shuka, but, Corviknight is unnerved, and I didn't actually remember that. I did notice he wasn't Mirror Armor, but I forgot that he was unnerved, and I just didn't even notice, so that's on me. This game is just full of misplays on my part, but I'm not trying to discredit Charles by any means. I think he played amazing, and the ally switch calls were just great on his part. I don't think he got a single one wrong. But I did read the Latias coming in, so I Hailstormed instead of Quaked. And that was a little bit, that was a cool read to make. It made me feel a little bit better about getting spanked. So, I get the Ice Wind drop, and I'm just expecting him just to set up. Excuse me. So, yeah, this game was over a couple turns ago, but the Hailstorm read was pretty cool. I think. You know, I mean, the Quake there was really obvious, so I thought that he would switch into Latias. So yeah, I thought the Hailstorm was a decent play there. So yeah, he brings in the Heatran. I'm thinking, okay, so here's my chance. I think I can just Icy Wind and protect with Metagross, and this is how I win. So I protect Metagross and Icy Wind, and I'm thinking, don't miss Icy Wind, don't miss Icy Wind, don't miss Icy Wind, because I have enough speed to outspeed max speed Heatran on this Metagross at -1. And I also have enough speed to outspeed non-invested Heatran. So, or I'm sorry, max speed modest Heatran. No, I can't remember. I'm sorry. I think it was non-invested Heatran that I invested in. So I had like just a little bit of speed, but enough to outspeed. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I didn't catch the speed tier last time. Because I scary faced it a lot, so I didn't actually get a good read on the speed tier. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I just Icy Wind and Stomping Tantrum the Heatran, I think that I can win this game. I'm like, there's no way he's max speed, and then he's max speed, or at least had a lot of it, or some speed investment at least. So, all I have to say is GG to Charles. I think he is phenomenal. Like, I know he had a rough loss versus Dan last week, but Dan is also phenomenal. And I thought Dan's offense just overpowered Charles's in that game. I thought Charles had a bad matchup, so I thought that Charles played really about as good as he could have in that game versus Dan, and he showed how well he can play in this one. He made incredible adjustments. Like, that is S tier adjustment right there. Bringing in the physical Heatran with ally switch Latias, I think that is just incredible. I think that just goes to show that even though Charles was 1-1 coming into this game, or maybe he was 1-2, I can't remember. All I know is that he lost a pretty rough match to Dan. All I know is that this match, or I'm sorry, this league is just so competitive. Even the people who get who lose to the top players by a lot are still incredible. So that's not even close to discrediting Charles. I think he deserved this win way more than I even would have if I would have won. And yeah, he just played and prepped so well, and all the credit goes to him. So you know, I followed a 1-2, but I felt like both losses, I took a lot from both losses. One of which was, and the lesson I took from this match was just think over your plays a little bit, quit thinking too far ahead, and start living more, or playing more in the moment, and not necessarily ahead a lot of the time, especially when you're in a decent position. So, you know, in Matt's, the game against Matt, I learned, prep for Reggie Draco. That's what I learned from that. But yeah, anyways, GG to Charles again. He's an incredible battler. He will be uploading tomorrow if I'm not mistaken. So stay tuned for that. And I'll leave his link in the description below. I leave everybody's links, so I'll make sure his is in the description. Thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate you. Leave a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed and want more content. But that's it from me. Have a good night, guys. Peace out.